figure out some way to make sure he can do that without the Hellions getting into his base. And if he's able to figure that out, then, you know, that's a pretty scary army with the 3 Immortals. And
so
he's got another sentry on the way going for the Council.
He has no splash. He has no splash damage, no Colossus, no Templars. He's of course got that Twilight Council finishing up, but he needs to get something like that very shortly. Otherwise, this Bioforce that's being created now, a Bino Bless, will just be too strong and overpower him, especially with those Hellions at the front to help deal with the Zealots really, really effectively. We do see a drop with 4 Hellions, which is going to go around the very far left side. But of course, have +1 armor on the way here for Sage at the moment, but he's starting to get a little bit behind in the supply. Look at 94 to 76. Of course, Noblesse has 1 less probe than Sage at the moment. But Sage's Nexus is only just finishing up. Straight into leg speed for Sage, though.
Yeah, Sage is in a bit of trouble, like you're saying. He can't even afford to go to Colossus right now. He just doesn't have the money. You would have to cut all of his units to do so. We've got 4 Hellions in a medevac on the left side of the map, swinging up around. And Sage is completely out of position to stop this. All of his units are in the center of the map and trying to block Hellions from running into his natural. So if he gets these unloaded without Sage noticing, this is going to kill a lot of probes. And it's just going to put him farther ahead. This build by Noblesse is really cute because the fact that the Hellions, since so many of them lived after that first attack, it meant that Sage was too scared to counterattack. And that was the one thing that was really going to be scary for him.
Yeah, absolutely. But this drop into the main now has been cleaned up by, as my mouse flickered out. But he did get quite a few probes there at the same time. He got 4. He's coming into the main. Whoa.
Oh, but there's the Force in the natural at the same time as well. So he's just doing that classic Terran tactic, splitting his opponent on 2 fronts. Hellions coming back into the main at the same time, but those get cleared up by some Stalkers and some good force fields at the natural. So good hold there by Sage. There's still just a huge supply advantage for Noblesse right now.
Yeah, but he needs to be careful with these units coming forward. The factory is there to scout it. He's still up 30 supply. Looking at the upgrades, he is at 0-0 to +1 armor for Sage. And Sage has his natural up now, though. And at the same time, Noblesse has gone for that 3rd base over here on the right-hand side. So he still does have the advantage with the bio. He's going to be very dangerous for Sage. Of course, not until his reinforcements get to him there. It doesn't look as strong as it actually is. At the same time, we got more gateways being put down. We got another.
This is scary for Sage right now because he doesn't actually have a whole lot of sentry energy.
Nice force goes
that was the
lot,
last
though.
of his sentry energy right there. So if Noblesse comes around to just go straight up the ramp here, which what he's doing right now, there's nothing to stop this. He's just stimming in, focusing down the Immortals. There's only 1 left unstable. When that falls, there's absolutely nothing. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's the GG. Noblesse looking unstoppable today. And Sage being caught off guard by that Marauder Hellion push, and then just didn't have any splash damage to help deal with the follow-up from Noblesse. Really impressive. Nicely done. 4-0 at the moment.
4 in a row.
Can Noblesse take out the next 2 from NSHoSeo?
So, will they go for 2 Terrans now?
That does seem to be the trend. Of course, best of 11, first to 6 wins this one. And it's going to be interesting here. Alright, so HoSeo starting to get desperate now. They've used Sage. They really only have, like, Bonbons, who hasn't really been performing that well recently. Jack G, of course, has performed very well recently. And Sculpt, probably the main names that I think we could see in the future. But that's 2 Terrans, pretty much, that they've got left.
Yeah, the main question here is, do you save Jakshi for last as your anchor, or you just throw him out now for the momentum? Like, it's one of those strategy things where if you want to stop this freight train and just turn the momentum back into your direction, sometimes they'll throw their ace out a little bit sooner, so that it kind of gives their team a little bit more morale. So wouldn't be too surprised if we actually see Jakshi now, but of course most likely is they're going to save him for last.
Yeah. Alright, so we're just waiting for NSHoSeo to let us know who they're playing and what map it wants to be. Of course it is loser picks the player and the map. GSTL rules. I say GSTL because everyone knows those rules. If you say Winners League, and things like that. Some people get confused and like, wait, because they get the two confused.
Well, back before Winners League even happened, it was referred to as the Korean Clan War style. And then people would be like, what? So at least there's a few more ways of referring to that that people will understand. So
yeah, it actually is going to be another Protoss.
Really?
Yes.
I am joining now. Tassadar?
Tassadar, yeah, it could quite possibly be. He's actually
That's
picked
what I would
dual side
expect.
of the map. Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
Tassadar.
Okay. Let's...
The moment you said it was another Protoss, that's the first person that pops into my mind for Hoso, so...
Yeah, well, there are other options for the Protoss. I haven't really been performing anywhere near as well as Tassadar. So let's see if he can bring this one back for NSHoSeo. Dual side will be the map. MVP Noblesse up against NSHoSeo's Tassadar. Let's get this started. Let's go. Go, go.
Players haven't said they're ready yet.
I don't care. Let's go.
Alright, now they're ready.
Alright, players are ready, casters are ready. Let's go. Alrighty. And welcome back, everyone. Game number 5 here for the KSL Korean Star Leagues. MVP up against NSHoSeo in a GSTL style match. We, of course, have Noblesse from MVP taking names here at the moment. I am unstable, joined here by Railkun, of course. MVP up 4-0 with Noblesse currently unstoppable. But, of course, NSHoSeo have sent out Tassadar as our blue Protoss to see if he can stop him. So let's find out if we can stop him, Railkun. But Noblesse playing very, very, very well so far.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, usually if these two were playing in a normal match, I'd probably expect Tassadar to win. But in this situation, when you're 4-0 in this team league like format, that gives you so much like adrenaline, and it gives you like a bit of a power up. So, you know, don't discount Noblesse here, because he's got all the momentum in his favor, especially if you're on the other team watching all of your teammates get taken out one after another. Sometimes that can just hurt your morale a bit. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. We are on dual site and it's Terran vs Protoss.
Yeah.
So we could just have a really aggressive push from one of these players early on. We saw that Noblesse did that on Calm Before the Storm to punish a Nexus first. But besides that, he has been playing pretty aggressive this whole time for the most part.
Definitely confident in the matchups that he's played so far. So anything could happen. Of course, he has gone for that supply depot wall off, as you can barely see behind the barracks.
Yeah, just taking the SV off there for a second. So that's become pretty much standard for the Korean Terrans. It's actually more uncommon to see them not do that, because it gets the supply depot down at a pretty good time. It only delays things by a small amount. It completely denies scouting. So I'm just watching, say Tassadar. So I want to know if he's going to do anything aggressive, and he did throw out a second gas really quick there.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. I'm trying to think what we're going to see. Wait, of course we're going to see a gasless expand coming out from Noblesse. But I'm thinking more in the middle in the late game. As there's the command center going down at the top of his base now. Actually, a Chrono Boosted Zealot coming out here from Tassadar. Doesn't have much Chrono Boost saved up at the moment. It's only got enough for one more. Does have quite a few probes at the moment. 21 to 16. So I've been powering those probes very nicely.
Yeah, he actually used one of his only Chrono Boosts there on the Stalker. Which is an interesting move there. Because of the denied scouting from Noblesse, by doing that, he has absolutely no idea that he's going for the gasless expansion. So if he'd gotten in there with a probe, he probably would have just like thrown that out on his probes or the warp gates.
There's a sneaky
But putting it on the
SCV
stalker there just like shows that he was a little bit worried there for a second. And yeah, this SCV is probably just gonna poke up in I'd say about 2.5 minutes, probably around the 7.5 minute mark, and just take a look inside the base and be like, hey, I'm an SCV.
He needs to see that robotics facility, though, because that could be a number of things. He could go for those immortal timings to bust down the bunkers very quickly with a lot of zealots and a few stalkers. You can also go for warp prism harass and drops, which Tassada's teammate Sage has done really well.
Yeah.
With in the past, so lots of options opening up here for Tassada. At the same time, Noblesse is going to be very, very careful. Look at this, he's actually getting double reactors.
He's going to scout the SCV when he comes down to build some buildings.
He actually canceled it.
And he was actually about to build a Twilight Council and another gateway, and like he cancels it the moment he sees the SCV.
So we're going to see some blink coming up against Noblesse here at the moment.
He didn't. Okay, he did remake the Twilight Council.
Yeah.
He put them in different positions, so I thought he'd actually switched into just pure gateways, but he is actually still going for that. We've got 4-gate blink on the way, absolutely no nexus in sight.
Yep.
He's going for it. There's an observer on the way from the robotics facility. This is exactly what I was talking about. Like this map, Terraverse Protoss, there's always a pretty decent chance of somebody going for just a really aggressive build in the early stages.
Yeah, it's very effective purely because there is no upgrades on these Marines, and the Blinkstalkers are good against Marines regardless, but without any stim or combat shield, he will be able to run those around like no tomorrow. Of course, we do see the command center still hasn't been moved down to the natural. There's actually a pylon there now, and it's going to be forcing Noblesse to move back and forth between all the different positions that these Stalkers can come in for. He really needs to get a scan off on that observer. There is one tank out already. Siege mode is about 75% of the way done.
He's positioning.
Goodbye, bro. Goodbye, observer. That is what he absolutely needed right there.
Second observer started immediately, and he is chrono boosting it, so it might actually get back there in time, as there are still about 60 seconds on that blink upgrade. So it hurts, but the main thing there is that he had to throw 75 more gas into another observer. And when you do this build with the 4-gate blink, you run out of gas for stalkers.
Well, here's the difference that is making it a lot easier for Noblesse to hold this off. Normally, you see the gasless expand, and you go into an extra 2 barracks straight away, okay? But he's actually gone for a very fast factory in this case, allowing him to have the siege tanks ready. They've covered both sides of this. Got a lot more Marines than normal. He's actually gone go. But whoa, here the Stalker's poking in a little bit. Are forced to back up. Tassada has thrown down his own Nexus, realized he can't do as much damage as he'd like to. So there's really, that fast factory into the tanks has really been able to allow Noblesse to not even have to worry about this at all coming in from Tassada.
Yeah, he also took out that proxy pylon in the natural, which is his only proxy pylon, and also supply blocked him pretty heavily for quite a while. So it's actually delayed this attack by a significant amount when he already was in a good position against it with these tanks. So this is actually looking really, really good for Noblesse right now.
I think he's noticed the observer again, because these Marines were getting a little bit close.
Tesla is looking kind of desperate here. He's dropping a Nexus and a robotics bay at the same time. He's trying to take up to Colossus and get that expansion out. I mean, if you look at the army here from Noblesse, he's going to be able to just straight up kill Tassadar here pretty soon. I mean, the only option Tassadar could really go for is try and get a Colossus out and go for a base race, avoid the army of Noblesse completely, but doing that against a Terran is kind of difficult.
Yeah, he definitely needs some kind of tech for his Marines here now, though. He really wants... Whoa, actually, a lot of these Marines getting picked off by the... being damaged by the Stalkers in the low ground. Siege mode is done, does get one shot on that very low health Stalker now, but he needs a tech lab on one of these barracks for stim and or combat shields.
He's actually getting a Raven right now. Still hasn't dropped a tech lab on either of these barracks. He's just massing the tanks as much as he can. He's getting the Raven out, followed by a medevac. Is this just a brain fart from Noblesse? What's going on?
No, this would be definitely intentional. He's moving out. There's a lot of Marines there. It's not to the point where there's going to be enough forces from Tassadar, especially with the build choice he had, to do a lot of damage to these. And he's got that bunker at behind. He's got those tanks coming in as well. And he's actually going to pull SCVs here by the looks of it with him. And it's just he's 30 supply up over that
Second
on
Colossus
Tassida.
is almost out. If these stalkers don't die, he might actually still be able to hold. Just get away. Chrono Boost that range upgrade. He's actually been throwing all the Chrono Boosts onto other things. If the range upgrade was done, certainly be able to out-micro this without too many issues. Without that range, it's going to be pretty tough. It's only halfway done. Noblesse can still take out these Colossus since they have this small
Nice
range,
blink
but he has to be
away up to take out
very
that tank.
careful with these tanks.
Yeah, he's already lost one. Needs to start slowing them, moving them forward very slowly. But
all this range upgrade is getting closer and closer. You can see the Tassar is just trying to buy time and make these tanks have to move forward very slowly. It's only 40 seconds away now, unstable.
it is, but this bunker's going up as well. And that Raven is going to be able to drop a PDD, and they are ridiculously good. There is 3 Colossus here, though, and he's going to have to be careful. If he gets target fired on the Colossus by these tanks, it'll be a lot of damage. But the Colossus range is finishing up. It's about 5 seconds from done, and then we'll probably see him go for it. But these units are spread out quite nicely.
Taking huge damage from the tanks there. Actually lost several sentries in the fire as well. But he's going for it the moment that the range finishes. First, Colossus has gone down to the tank fire. Noblesse is actually focusing down the Colossus with the tanks. Marines moving forward without Stim to try and focus in on the Colossus, but it looks like they're not going to go down. One of the Colossus still staying alive. He's calling down a mule.
And there's the
But
GG.
there's just no units left.
Well, he still
One
had...
Colossus is not going to be able to hold the line.
He had like 5 tanks, 2 bunkers full of units, a Viking there as well. Very well played by Noblesse, going 5-0 in this match so far. 1 left for Noblesse for an all kill. This is going to be very interesting.
That took a lot of guts from Noblesse to actually attack in there without any marine upgrades. Like, a lot of players would have been too scared to do that, but it worked out for him.
Well, he did have a very big supply lead. It was like 30 to 40 supply up, so it works out quite well. I think the only option that we really have left for NSHoSeo is going to be Jack G now, and that also, even if he does take out Noblesse, that gives MVP 5 other goes to specifically snipe Jack G. So if he loses, that's game over for NSHoSeo. They will be all killed by Noblesse.
And that's the problem is with the reverse all kill situation, they put out Jack G, and now the rest of the players are sitting there just trying to figure out, okay, what builds can we do specifically against Jack G? And they've got a lot of time to plan out each game in different ways to try and kill him. So it becomes very, very difficult because during this next game, all the other players are going to be plotting against him. So if he wins this one, then he's going to have to go up against something that's tailored specifically against him. Normally in these Team League formats, you don't have the time to prepare against a specific player, but now they can. So...
yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least. Of course, we're just waiting for our KSL admins to figure out what's going on with the next game and the next map. So stay with us, guys. We'll find out soon.
I see SC talking in chat. Is Jack G not available?
Man, that'd suck. But SC should be resting anyway.
Yeah, he shouldn't be playing. He better not be playing.
Alright, I did not expect it to go this way. I expected a very close match, back and forth. It should be very interesting. Just looking here. Dink.
KSL admin just hosted.
Cool. I don't actually have him on real ID friends. So.
No, he just...
oh, yes I do.
He joined a game for a second, then he pops back out.
Oh.
So, take me out.
Must have been the wrong map. Was that coming through your speakers?
Yeah, somebody just turned on the other computer.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is that? Alright, so... what is gonna happen? What are you gonna do? And so, what are you gonna do? Alright, the map is hosted. It is going to be... file size 4 megabytes, GSL underscore something. Ah, Belshire. Why did I not have that version of Belshire? Interesting. Okay, so it is going to be a TVT. It's not going to be SC. I can't read Korean, so we'll have to wait for the KSL to let us know.
I assume it's Jakchi.
Yeah.
At this point, they could throw out Sculp and just hope and pray.
No, it is Jakchi.
Yeah, so it is Jakchi.
Jakchi is blue. Bless is red. Alright, we're going to have a TVT coming up. NSHoSeo's Jakchi up against MVP Noblesse. This is reverse all-kill time for Jakchi if he wants to take this one down. But if anyone on their team can do it, it is this guy, like the most recent GSL Codes champion. It's going to be good, Wolf. Belshi, interesting map choice, though. You're not Wolf.
Did you just call me Wolf?
How about... We're going with them in 2 days yesterday.
You're crying in the corner.
Okay, you do that.
Stan can't remember my name.
Not worthy of remembering. Alrighty, welcome back everyone. Game number 6 here for the Korean Star League. KSL's MVP up against NSHoSeo. It is going to be MVP's Noblesse against NSHoSeo's Jakchi, and this is going to be the last chance for NSHoSeo. It is going to be an all-kill situation for Noblesse. Let's see if we can take this one down. I am unstable, joined here by Railcoon today. It is going to be Belshire Beach with Jakchi on the right-hand side as our blue Terran, and of course Noblesse over here on the left as our red Terran. Noblesse going through Tastada, Sand, Sage, Seal, and Fairy so far today from the NSHoSeo team. It's going to be very interesting to see if we can pull this all-kill off.
Yeah, this is just the most amount of pressure that Jakchi can be under, because he's the last man. The only way for him to win is the reverse all-kill, which is extremely difficult to do, just like mentally, and like all of the odds are stacked against you at that point, because then MVP, they can even just send out like a B teamer who's got a really good all-in on a particular map, just to try and tease him out once or twice, and then just go back to like just really strong players who have something figured out for him. They're going to be able to just line up the perfect storm of players to be able to take out Jakchi if he manages to take this game. But of course, he has to win this one first. Terran versus Terran on Belshire.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that map choice, if it's more of just they didn't want Jakchi to have to face a Zerg on this map later on.
There's a lot of different factors that go into that. One thing to note here, though, is Jakchi did get his gas a little bit earlier than Noblesse. He's got about a 50 gas head start. Can be very crucial. And we have seen Reapers in this matchup recently, especially since it's a good spot for these guys to jump up and down the ledges. We are actually not using a GSL version because there is gold minerals here. So that'd be why I didn't have it in my game client.
Yeah, this is the non-winter version. The winter version is the one where they removed gold.
Yeah.
So I think...
That's alright.
Yeah,
they're both
in Terran vs. Terran, it's probably not going to come up unless it hits the super late game.
Yeah.
So it's not the biggest deal here, but you can see that the factory for Noblesse is actually pretty far behind Jakchi's here. Neither player getting his second gas at this point, though. Oh, right as I say that, Noblesse drops the second gas.
Noblesse going for that second gas, of course. Sometimes in this matchup you see some Terrans actually... Whoa, does pick off that SCV. Some Terrans gas stealing each other. A lot of people do this to Gumio because he has just a ridiculous amount of intricate builds that he does. So they gas steal him, just cut half of them out. So it's like playing any other normal Terran.
Yeah.
There's the starport, of course, on the way for Jakchi. It is a good 20 seconds in already. And nothing... There it is. Okay, so it's good 25 seconds behind for Noblesse. But looking at the visions here, Noblesse sees, of course, everything except that starport. And on the other hand, Jakchi hasn't scouted at all until now with that first Hellion that's come out. He's actually going to be able to run right past these Marines if he wants to, but no, he does just take one shot and backs off.
Yeah, if you look at it, Noblesse is not actually going for Banshee right now. It looks like he's going to go for a Viking, then follow that up with a medevac, because he's just producing the Hellions out of his factory. And when you do that, you're going to need to get the Viking out to defend against the Banshee. But he's going to switch it over onto the reactors. He's probably going to be able to do both. Be like, hey, what's up? We'll cut into his Marine count here a little bit. Oh, 2 Vikings even. He really wants to make sure he doesn't take any damage from a Banshee opening by Jakchi.
Yep. Jakchi is expanding behind this, though. Wants to put the pressure on. Just keeps his expansion safe for a little bit of time. And this could work out well for him here. Like, it's going to be shut down very hard by Noblesse, so he's got a very good read of what's going on. But he's also ahead in the bases.
Like, Jakchi's build has been faster. He's been dropping everything about a good 10-20 seconds before Noblesse has, and that command center is going to help him out quite a bit. The Banshee's not going to do anything. It's going to be the problem. It's going to come in here. You can see both Vikings are patrolling around. Oh, hi, what's up? You're not going to kill anything. A single thing. Marines coming in, and you can't even get a second shot off to kill one Marine. That's pretty sad for a Banshee. He just brought the Marines in there to kind of taunt him there. Yeah, you're not going to be able to kill these, but there is a bunker position here pretty well at his ramp. The main thing is he's going to have to be careful about, with the 2 Vikings, he can actually land in the mineral line.
He can indeed. But at the same time, he hasn't expanded yet, so Jakchi is going to start powering ahead soon. Looking at the vision for Noblesse, he hasn't scouted it, of course. Sees the bunker there, and still has... Whoa, no, he's actually... Okay, he's actually going to go for it with these Marines and Hellions and the Vikings. He's bringing a lot of SCVs. He wants to end it right here, right now, Railcoon. If this doesn't win, he is in a lot of trouble. But he's going to have a lot of Vikings. He's going to have a total of 6 Vikings that could... do quite a bit of damage.
Really interesting.
He's actually dropping the Vikings in the main as we speak, though. He's going to try and draw all the forces from the front, but look at this. Jakchi's ready for it. SCV's already trying to repair. He needs to try and come and get a line on those SCVs. Does come round. Does get those SCVs. Is that bunker going to fall, though? We got more SCVs being pulled, but the Hellion count is a lot lower now, and there's 2 tanks there to help deal with this. I don't think there's going to be enough for Noblesse to be able to deal with it. He just doesn't have the Hellions left to do damage to these SCVs. They are still even in supply at the moment, though.
It's a very interesting attack. He killed a lot of workers, and he's actually up on the worker count right now.
Yeah, he is.
So if he can drop a command center immediately, then it's not completely over. Like, yeah, that was a bit of an all-in, but he did enough damage to the worker count. He's still got that 1 Viking in the main, still doing damage, that he can recover this if he gets a command center down like now. So you can see he's not actually really making much, just 1 Marine at a time. He's probably going to do that here in a second. Still harassing with this Viking, trying to keep this damage going for as long as possible. Actually switching over into Cloak. So he's not going for the expansion. He's actually switching into Cloak Banshee. He's going to try and take the win. He's going to catch a tank off guard with the extra 2 Vikings. Tried to deal with that 1 Viking with that tank by itself. But still, I mean, very interesting decision to go for the Cloak Banshees instead of dropping the command center. He had to be aware of how much damage he did to the economy of Jakchi there.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But
he's still camping out here down at the bottom of the ramp, catching another worker. If we check the worker count, with that extra command center, Jakchi's catching back up. He's got the extra mule. The only real issue are these Vikings flying around, but he's doing a pretty good job with deflecting these now. And I think, like, going for the Cloak Banshee could wind up being pretty bad for Noblesse, because, well, there's 2 command centers. He's going to have scans available. There's no engineering bay is the problem, so if he can avoid these scans, he could make this work. It's just going to be really tough.
Yeah, well, Siege Mode is going to be done in about 10 seconds, so that is going to make it even harder for Noblesse to come through here. He's trying to pick up a couple of Marines being on the high ground here.
There's no energy now. He used his last energy on a mule. They're both at 20 energy, unstable, so the Banshee's actually coming in, focusing down the Marines. This is very common for when the Koreans do this. Try and weaken the army as much as possible. since he is pretty much all in. Going after the SCVs isn't going to help him as much. Focus down the Marines, maybe pick away at a tank. Both of them are at 40 energy. This Banshee is killing so many Marines. The issue is there's still 2 tanks behind his bunker.
Oh my God.
So can he pull this off? He's got to make sure he doesn't get both these Banshees scanned at the same time.
He scanned the one with no energy too. That is not what he needed to happen. He's also got a second scan. Is it going to go down to catch these off guard? No. But it looks like Noblesse is actually up in supply at the moment. He's got a lot of Marines and Hellions. There is nothing in that bunker. Still doing as much damage to these Marines as he can. There's another scan, but the Banshee will barely get away. But Stim just finished, or is about to finish in like 3 seconds, Railcoon.
Oh, the Banshee just ran out of energy. Is there another one on the way? Yes, there is. Once again. Oh, but there's the Raven out. So Jakshi does have the detection now, but he's going to be relying completely on that Raven. But here he comes in the front while the Marines are all out of position. That is a lot of Hellions, and bringing almost every single SCV as well. There's only a few left at home. Bunker goes down immediately, but the tanks are doing so much damage. He's going to be able to hold because of those tanks behind the bunker.
Yeah, that is game over right there. He did not use his Hellions anywhere near as effectively as he should have in that position. Like they sat there hitting the bunker a lot of the time. He could have run forward, caught a lot of the Marines as they were funneling through. But there it is, GG. He also lost those Banshees a little bit too early to deal with those tanks. So nicely done by Jakshi. He's going to bring NSHoSeo back into this. It is going to be 5-1 in favor of MVP. Let's see who they send out next to take out Jakshi. All right.
So who do you think's next for MVP? I think this is the point where you throw somebody with a really good all-in at him. Like, it's 5-1. See if you can get him with something specific to a certain map, most likely.
Well, MVP does have a very deep lineup. Thinking about it here. So let's have a think. They've got Monster, Finale, Genius, Tails, Guinea Pig, Dream, SC. Vampire is actually really strong as well, but no one's ever heard of him. He's a nice Protoss player. Always Dongre good to anchor it if they need to. It looks like it is going to be Crossfire for the map. Let's find out who sits in here. Lucky, you're not playing in this. Get out. There we go.
Crossfire. Oh. Why am I in the player spot? There we go.
Alright, looks like it is actually going to be a Protoss. Going to come out. But I can't read the Korean name. So it's either Genius, Finale, Guinea Pig, Tails. Could be any one of those. I'm going to put my money on either Genius or Tails, though. Tails, of course, the fabled Protoss who took out MVP and NST in GSTL Season 1. Securing MVP to move forward. So this will be good.
Finale.
Oh, it's Finale. Ah, this guy is really good too.
Right.
Right.
So I think this is, especially in Crossfire, definitely have a chance here just to go for something really aggressive. There's a lot of early pressure builds you can do against Terrans, specifically in this matchup. So Jakchi's going to have to be pretty careful here. Can't play too greedy. But at the same time, like, there's that mind game going on of where you kind of expect them to send somebody up all in you right now. So Finale could just, like, go macro game and try and catch them off guard.
Alright, map is loading. It is going to be NSHoSeo Jakshi up against MVP Finale. Let's see if Finale can finish it up here for MVP, shall we, Railcoon?
Yeah.
as the map loads, because we always have 20 people watching. There we go. Alright, welcome back everyone. Game number 7 of 4, the KSL's MVP versus NSHoSeo. I am Unstable, joined here by Railcoon today. It is 5-1 in favor of MVP, with Noblesse taking 5 kills in a row. Unfortunately falling to Jackji in that last game, but it looked a little bit closer than it should have there for a little bit of time. So we'll see if Finale can bring this one out. For MVP is, of course, the blue Protoss down at the bottom left-hand corner. And then Jackji, the recent GSL winner, up at the top right as our red Terran. Jackji also playing in the FXOpen Invitational Series in January. Check that out on Team Liquid. Lots of strong names in that. I'm actually quite glad we're bringing that back over the King of the Hills because it's such a more exciting series. But, that being said, right now we have Finale against Jackji, and Finale is very underrated. Hasn't really been seen outside of the Korean scene, of course, by a lot of the foreign fans and players. But we'll see how he goes. I definitely don't put it past him to take this one down.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to watch the build here pretty carefully. We see that he is actually building his barracks back here away from the wall, so he might be looking to go for some form of a Banshee opening or fake 1-1-1. We'll see what he decides to go for. And on the other side, Finale just playing very standard so far. Nothing really too crazy at Protoss can do at this point in the game just yet, so we have to watch him. He is throwing quite a bit of chrono boost onto these probes, using both of them so far.
Yeah, interesting barracks placement by Jackji here. It's not at the wall off, it's sitting a little bit further back, especially at that supply depot there anyway. He of course does have his gas, not going for a gasless expand. A lot of the times you see any kind of fast expand on this map, it usually always gets shut down.
Yes, it's very true. It's very hard to fast expand on this map unless you're Zerg, and even then, you can have a tough time holding some timing attacks on this map as well. So I'm just kind of expecting to see Jackji throw down another sliding foot on the ramp here, but he's actually making a reactor on this first barracks. We could have a 2-racks combat shield rush, but he hasn't started the second barracks yet, so what is he doing?
We'll find out soon.
And he cut his gas at this point, so he's not making another... Okay, he's just going to reactor marine expand. So he's going to get the extra marines out just to make sure he's a little bit safe in case he's under some pressure from Finale, and get that expansion. Just mining enough gas to get that reactor. Because of the fact that, you know, like you were saying, fast expansions are difficult on this map. It winds up just dying most of the time. This version of the marine expansion is just slightly safer. It's a little bit slower. He's just playing really carefully here. Since he is the last player for his team, it's a little bit understandable.
Alright, so thinking of this, of course, there's the Nexus down now for Finale. And it's going to work out well for him here. He's going to get a little bit further ahead. There's the extra double racks going down. But we did see Noblesse go for that mix-up of not an extra the 2 racks, but going for that very fast factory against Tacitor, wasn't it? On dual side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that honestly won him the game. Because against a 4-gate blink, if he didn't have those tanks, he just would have gotten completely outmaneuvered by those stalkers. The Marines without stim or combat shields just would have died.
Yeah.
He would have just kept blinking around him in circles, and it probably would have done a lot of damage.
The scout does see the timings on all of the units. In the main base here for Jackji, does get cleaned up though. And he's getting quite a lot of Marines. Jackji's going to be very safe against any kind of pressure that's going to come forward here from Finale if he chooses to. Because sometimes you see the Protoss players go for that 4-gate follow-up behind the expansion. Not an all-in, but just a lot of pressure. And that's exactly what we're going to see here from Finale, I think. No forward pylon just yet. There's actually no probe anywhere up there. But
yeah, probe actually
there we go.
Around and got taken out, so he's going to have to send another probe forward to try and get some pylons down a little bit more successfully this time. So we see it's going to be Stimpack from that first tech lab. It's throwing in a couple Marauders as well. That's a lot of Marines. that reactor is letting him get out so many more units. And you can see why he went for that on this map. Just, you get so many more Marines out to defend this expansion. It's going to be able to hold this 4-gate pressure a lot more easily.
Yeah, exactly. He's actually moving forward here, trying to see what's going on at that watchtower. This could not work well for Jack G at all. There's a lot of sentries here. There's 2 stalkers, but he needs that bunker to be up, especially with this pressure that's going to be coming in from Finale in a second. There's no stim, no combat shield. Of course, he does have he doesn't have combat concussive shields yet.
No, he skipped it for the combat shields because he is mostly Marines. He's only got a couple Marauders at this point. 2, third one on the way. Okay, 4th one on the way now. He's actually going for a quick Ghost Academy. Now, where is that? What's up in the top left-hand corner of his base? But here comes Finale with the Guardian Shield. Force Field's going down off of that bunker. He's going to take it out pretty quickly. Tim is not done yet. So these units from Jachi not doing as much damage as you would expect. He's backing off after the bunker is down.
But he has pulled a lot of SCVs off the line. There's still no stim, as you were saying, and now he's going to warp in a Holy Zealot to try and get into the mix of these units. There's a lot of Stalkers. Needs to be careful of the Marauder fire there, though. Look at that, Jackshi just baiting, trying to bait more force fields out of him to another Sentry and Zealot being warped in now.
This is really dangerous for Finale, because Stim's just about to finish, and once that finishes, Jackshi is going to be able to take
Or he could run up that ramp. No, decides not to. That bunker is going to finish now, though, and that's going to put Finale in a spot where he probably should start thinking about backing off. Stim is going to finish in about 1 second's time. There it goes. Whoop, no. 10 seconds time. I just can't count. Don't worry. I could have sworn it said 69, not 79. But there it is now. There's the Stim coming forward, running straight into the Zealots, though. Nice force fields by Finale, and he's actually doing quite a bit of damage, but there's just too much stuff here for Jackji.
Jackji was able to just run right forward on top of the army because there was just one huge force field missing. That's going to mean that all of his units go down with that Stim. He really should have backed off there.
Well, now we have 2 ghosts in production as well here for Jackji. Wouldn't be surprised to see some pressure coming on very, very shortly. Of course, we do have 2 extra gateways being warped in and warp gates now, but no tech, extra tech at all for Finale. And we got a lot of bio coming across.
Look at the heavy Marauder count here. He's also got the ghosts out, so he's going to be able to throw out EMPs. But if he goes straight Zealots to deal with all these Marauders, then he can start actually sniping the Zealots as well. So that's going to become quite painful and really tough for Finale to deal with at this point because he just lost all of those units. Oh, nice picking up the one
Marauder though, with the 2 Stalkers from the high ground.
This is going to be really, really tough for Finale. The one thing is there's no medevacs. So all these bio after that big fight are still around half health. Well, and that's really the only thing that Finale has going for him right now.
He also has the high Marauder count. I know it sounds silly, but the Zealots against lots of Marauders. Whoa, hang on, there's an EMP on all of the units for Finale, like every single one of them. And now the units are just shredding through everything for Jack. You're getting a pylon, you're almost getting a second one as well, doing a lot of damage. Another Stim. Without the medivacs, though, a lot of these units are getting very, very low health. Can't really take them.
How did we get EMPs that good when they nerfed the radius again? Like, you shouldn't be able to get that many units with
there's another Stim. All these units are so low here for Jack. You've been targeting down the very gas-intensive units. Did it okay.
As many others as he can, then finally backing off. That was definitely worth it for him. He took out a lot of gas-intensive units. You can see that Finale is having to rewarp in the sentries. Well, and that means there's absolutely no way he can tech at all.
He's actually rewarping them in.
He's going for a counterattack right now. It looks like as he's warping all the reinforcements in at that proxy pylon, he's going to be really aggressive. This might actually have a chance of working. There's no bunker unstable.
There is a lot of Marauders there, not a very high Zealot count at all. If he wants to go, he has to go down. Needs to force field that ramp. He's got reinforcements coming down. Lots of SCVs being pulled again. He needs to take out that bunker being built. It's very low health. There's the Stim. Force fields go down. And the Zealots are actually trapping a lot of the Marauders at the front. There's the force field on the ramp. SCV's trying to get into the mix, but they're going toe-to-toe with Zealots. They are going to lose that fight very handily. And looks like Finale is starting to overpower Jackji here. He is at 78 supply to 54. More SCVs coming down from the top. There actually are 2 ghosts up there. Snipes going down on the Zealots, going to drop them very quickly. And we've got a lot of units over here behind, but this Marines versus Stalkers not going to work out well. Another force field going down, and he has completely shut down the natural expansion for Jackji. And Finale, as I was saying at the beginning of the game, you don't count this guy out. He is a lot better than people think just because he's known. And he has taken a very commanding lead in this game. He has an expansion. He has a roughly the same army size. He's contained Jack G to his main base. And now he's going for the tech. He's going double Forge, Twilight Council. And
it's really coming down to the lack of medevac and also leaving that proxy pylon alive.
Yeah.
Like, if you had the medevacs, it might have gone a little bit better, but at the very least, make sure you can't warp in behind you and go for that immediate counterattack. If those proxy pylons hadn't been there, it would have taken much longer for those units to get there. We would have been able to get those bunkers up and probably hold. So either one of those being different would have completely changed this. Jaxi is 40 supply, actually 30 supply now behind. He's trying to stay in this. He's going, I'm a GSL champion. I can fight this back, but this is going to be a really, really uphill battle for him if that's actually what he's going for. He's got a medevac flying across the map. He has avoided the pylons. So there are some zealots and sentries at the natural, but not much covering the main. So this definitely would be one way to try and pull this back, is to get a good drop in here, kill a lot of probes. Looks like Finale's going for Storm, as well as Charge right now as well, so he's really tacking up very fast right now.
Well, here's the thing, Railkieran, there's a +1 upgrades, attack and defense for Finale. He's got that extra base, like you were saying before, the Templar. There's just everything going well for him. There's only Zealots and Sentries to defend this drop. But 30 supply up, Jaxi's only just now taking his expansion back. And as soon as that Storm start to come into play, it's just going to snowball from here on in. Looking at the working counts, 26 to 56 here, Railkieran. 26 to 56.
Yeah, I mean, he's really just, at this point, Jaxi is just saying that he expects Finale to make a mistake at this point by staying in the game. And we'll see if it happens, because that's really the only way that Jaxi is going to be able to bring this back. Is Finale's just going to have to drop the soap. There's no other way to put it. He's going to have to make a really big mistake for Jaxi to pull this back.
Well, we do have TIE Templars being warped in at the moment, going into Archons to help out. Jaxi coming forward, and he does have those ghosts still, actually bringing a lot of SCVs. This is probably the last-ditch effort for him. He realizes he needs to do something. But that many Zealots, they do have Zealot speed now, and those Archons as well. It's not going to looking good, and it's already pre-split against these ghosts as they come in. Where are they going to EMP? EMPs 2 onto the Archons, but here comes Finale. He's got a nice big ramp here full of units. The Archons doing quite a bit of damage, and a nice control here by Jaxi. He's funneling all these Zealots into this one line, and Finale needs to pull back, and he's just really... Oh, nice force fields blocking Jaxi's army off. He needs those Zealots to come back, because they just couldn't get a good unit concave on all of these guys here, and looking... And there's the +1 upgrades though, more units coming through here for Finale. Needs to be careful, there's only 3 medivacs. Zealots coming forward as well. Whoa, there you go, nice feedbacks on the medivacs as well. They are going to drop, and it looks like Jaxi is pulling it a little bit closer than I thought it would go at the moment, but he's still a heavy underdog, trying to target down the Archon. Very nice control from him so far, but without the medivacs, this can't go on for much longer.
Yeah.
Oh, and he cut his army in half.
As well. There's finally that force field. I was wondering why Finale hadn't cut the army in half up to that point. Finally is able to do that successfully. But you can see Jaxi, he cannot back off. No. If he does, he's going to fall further and further behind because of that.
Whoa, a bit of a mistake there by Finale, not using his Zealots, trying to get him away. They were just going to die anyway. Needs more Zealots to be warped in. He's floating way too many resources here. Just can't spend it. He's only got 6 gateways. Chrono Boost going down on a lot of them. A lot of these units are getting low health. But the unit control here from Jaxi is just outstripping Finale's.
Yeah, this is really dangerous for Finale. Oh, there we go. Some good force field trapping us up right against the ramp. Zealots coming in here to take out those low health units. Very surprising. Okay, there we go. Medevac's finally on the way. I'm surprised those Medevacs didn't arrive sooner, because if they had, that could have helped tip that back in his favor. But once again, he's 20 supply behind. Look at the worker count. It's 15 to 41 at this point.
He's this third base over here. He's actually getting 4 gateways down here as well, so we can start spending that money. Just 1,100 gas here, Railkieran. Just a little bit put it back by that attack coming in from Jaxi. He is still
How does
30
he have
supply up now.
1100 gas when he's just massing Archons? How is that possible? That's just ridiculous. And like, he's just, look at this. He's just massing Archons. There's 4 more on the way. He's gonna have 8 Archons.
Not what Jack G really wants to see as he's coming down. Here yet again, still 40 supply down. 4 Archons straight in there. Obviously not affected by the concussive shells. There, wow, very nice force field. Nice pickup by Jack G. It has 5 HP. The Archon's running straight through the medivacs, but there's the GG. Finale will finish it up for MVP. MVP are going to take down the series 6-1. Not the result I was expecting, but still entertaining series all the way through, Railcoon.
Yeah, it was a very good match. I was expecting a closer match as well, like you're saying. But, hey, Noblesse decided he was going to be a boss today. Like, and who can argue with that? Tomorrow it's Slayers and...
I don't think Slayers are playing in KSL.
Who's
Pretty sure TSL and Slayers either declined to play... No, TSL and Slayers aren't in it. It's Xenix versus OGS up tomorrow. The winner of that will go up against MVP. Of course, later on in the week we have StarTale versus IM because they won their first round matches as well. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We are done for tonight as MVP does finish it up. If you want, thanks for tuning in. You can follow both myself and Railcoon on Twitter. It's on the screen there, at FXO Unstable and at FXO Railcoon. We will be back tomorrow to cast that game between Xenix and OGS. Until then, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later.
Watch the FXOpen Invitational Series.
And tune in later in the month for the FXO Invitational Series. There you go. All right. This is the first time. This is the first time all week I've gotten home before 1 AM. Oh my god. Alright, now I gotta close this all down. Stop the recording.